Hola, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Of course, as always, please like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I appreciate you for tuning in. In today's video, we got the new Milwaukee HOTSHOT and we'll demo that. We'll go over everything that you need to know about it. And I feel like that is an essential to have in the van or any vehicle. I'm gonna also have alternatives if you guys want maybe some Amazon links to others that I've used that are similar. But if you're in the Milwaukee ecosystem, if you're finding this video or looking this up, maybe you are interested in the HOTSHOT itself. And like I said, it's a van essential. I think we should also go over this that I just got in as well, the tire inflator, which is not new, but it's been helpful. And I've just had bad luck. I've had dead batteries, flat tires left and right, and I finally got a solution that, I always have Milwaukee batteries on me, so I think these are really cool to have on the van. But again, if you don't want the Milwaukee version, I will link and kind of talk about alternatives, but I think everybody should have these two essentials in their van. All right, so yeah, this is the HOTSHOT, always ready to jump, true weather performance. It's the 3841-20, takes M18 batteries, and it is optimized for the 5.0. But I typically carry 6.0s, 8.0s, and now 12.0s. So in a pinch, this should be able to jump my van or anybody else's vehicle for that matter. So this one does up to 8.1 liter gas and 3 liter diesel. So again, this is not going to be for a lot of bigger vehicles, but like I said, it should do what I needed to do. And if you guys have a truck or van or personal vehicle, this is a good option. All right, so it is a beefy jump starter. Now, what I was saying is I actually have some jump starters that I got off of Amazon. Now, I've had some bad ones. We do have a good one. Like I said, I'll link it down below. That has been really useful on the van because I might leave something charged. I might leave my inverter on. I might do something stupid. And the next morning, I'm in a big rush to get out to work. And guess what? I got to jumpstart my van. So the one that I had prior actually didn't work on my van because the leads were too short. And typically on those cheaper Amazon ones, the leads are a plug that you put into the jump starter. So it wires out and it barely has, a couple inches to play with. So this right here, see if I can take it off here. It's that is a beefy clamp, and that's a lot of tension right there. So you're not going to lose grip when you put these on the terminals, but you have a decent length here. So no matter where your terminals are, where you can hook up your negative, like on my van specifically, the battery is underneath the seat. So when I hook up under the hood, there is a positive terminal, but then I have to find, actually there is a spot to plug this in, and it is a bare bolt, but it is not anywhere near the positive terminal that I need to hook up to. So what happens is I don't have enough space to actually hook up that smaller jump starter I had, but with this one, you have plenty of room. Basically, looks like it can go across the whole engine under the hood there, and you're good to go. And then right here, you do have a handle that slides out, and then it contracts back. Let's see right here. You can see there's metal right there. This has a nice little rubber molding to it. Pretty easy to carry like that, and it just kind of goes back into place. So there's not much to it. You would just wrap it around, clamp it back. All this right here is rubber and plastic molding. We'll put this one back here. There's a lot of tension on that. So actually, like this. So like I said, a lot of tension. You also have USB-C charging, so you can charge, and you do have a light. Let's get a battery in this. So I'm gonna grab an 8.0 that I have here in the garage, and we're gonna put the battery on the bottom there. Now we're gonna turn it on. You get a nice little display. It's a black with white numbers and actually icons here. So you have a button for your light that is super bright. Holy crap. So you can light up the engine if you want to lay this down, jump start in the middle of the night. You know, you're stranded on the side of the road, whatever it is. I've been there, done that. And you have 3 levels actually, and you have the SOS, of course. So yeah, if you need to lay this out, you know, in the middle of the night, if you get, you know, your car breaks down, whatever, you can lay this out to use the SOS lighting on it. And then you can turn on your USB-C charging right here and plug in and basically use this as a big battery bank if this is all you have on the van, or you take it out with or on a trip with you, or this is something that you store away underneath your seat, you know, whatever it is, you always have a way to charge. So that's just kind of an added benefit there. Okay, so I'm gonna, you push this one and it'll give you a percentage. I'm assuming when you hit 100%, you can actually, it'll tell you when you can start your van. I'm actually gonna test this out right now because we got a dead battery to charge. All right, so we are completely dead. And that's just me leaving the inverter on by accident overnight and, you know, having it kill the battery there. So we're gonna jump start it really quick. And our positive terminal here, like I said, that other one I have is very short. So the only grounded area I can get is this bolt right back here. That's typically where you're supposed to, because everything else is painted, obviously. So you want to set that up. All right, so I had to run it upside down just so I could make sure that I get proper spacing. So we're gonna turn it on. It's showing me some information. It's already building up. Do I need to push it? There we go, that's engaged. You're gonna see it ramp up. It should tell me when to start the vehicle. All right, so 100%. Now that key light is blinking, so now we should be able to turn this on. Nope. Oh, that's a button too. There we go. Okay, I'm trying to do this before it stops beeping. And now I hear everything. Boom. All right, it worked. I had to move the negative. I never get a good connection on that. I just had to wiggle it, make sure you're gonna get a little bit of sparks, and then it's fine. So let's turn this off. All right, cool. And I did that like 3 times because I wasn't on there right. Still have 3 bars on an 8.0 battery, so it's gonna be good for several jumps when you're on a 5, 6, 8.0. So the HOTSHOT jump starter is really cool, but what you should also look into, and it says new, but I don't think it's super new. What you should also have on your van is a tire inflator. So this is Milwaukee's version. This is the 2475-20. This one in particular is the M12 version. That is the one that I wanted in particular because, you know, I typically have more M12s ready to go than I do M18. This is also just a super compact version compared to the M18 one. So I was like, you know, why not? Save some space in the van. So you get the inflator itself and a few tips with it, which actually really cool because we have a rechargeable one that we use. And recently I told my girlfriend just to take it in her car because, you know, we've just had bad luck with flat tires. And you know, sometimes you just need, which this came in handy the other day, you just need a little bit of air just to get down the street to the tire shop to get it patched or get it taken care of, whatever it is. And, you know, sometimes you wake up and your tires are a little low. So you need some air in your tires. And this one in particular is actually pretty strong. This is the inflator itself. You just hook up your battery right there at the bottom. So M12s, like I said, I have several laying around at all times. So M12 goes in there. This is a high output 5.0, I believe. And then you turn it on and then you just set whatever you needed to. So it's going to start you off basically blank. And then you can just kind of hold and set whatever you're going to do. If you're doing a tire, obviously you're going to set it to 35, 50, whatever vehicle you have. And my daughter needed her bike tires inflated. So just quickly turn it on, set it to something very low. I think it was like 10 or something. And it inflated those tires in literally like 2 seconds. This thing it's super powerful for what it is. If you're on the fence between the M18 or the M12, this thing did very well. And it inflated my tires on the van, you know, within minutes. You're not gonna sit there waiting too long with it. And that time that my truck tire was completely flat and I had to drive to our, discount tires down the street. It's literally down the street from where I live. So I was like, cool, let's just put it in because at some point we got a screw in it or something. And I inflated it and I listened for it. I could see where the leak was and it was super small. So once I inflated it, I was like, okay, it's going to hold. I can drive down the street. And sure enough, I made it. They patched it. We're all good. So plenty of times where this can be helpful. Don't neglect your low air tires, which I'm going to have to use this tomorrow morning as well because I noticed that my van tires were a little bit low. Now I inspect my tires, make sure everything's good. And this little thing has come in handy because not only for tires, but when the kids need their bicycles, you know, tire inflated, basketballs, whatever it is around the house, you have a way to inflate them. The hose is stored in the back right here. It is that long. All your tips are gonna hold very nicely here in the back. So you have the needle, like I said, for the you know, sports, basketballs, footballs, whatever it is. And something like this would have been great on the recent vacation that we took because they didn't even, oh no, they did use them. We went down by we stayed by a river, basically. Some water access that we had there. Can't remember, I've never been in that area. But we went to this like little cabin type deal that we could rent out. And I think I tried the inflator that I had and it wasn't doing anything. So this would have been helpful because this one is way stronger. It puts out quite a bit from what I've seen a few times using it now. But we had floaties and donuts, right? Whatever they're called, whatever the kids use in the pool, right? The floaties, whatever. You got to inflate them. We tried doing it ourselves. And then there was actually a little station there with a huge air compressor, but everybody was using it and that thing got smoking hot. We couldn't even use it. So we ended up using the inflator that I had, I believe, and it just took a really long time. So you do have those nozzles here in the back. So again, if you have kids or you have to inflate anything, it's not just for tires, it's for a lot of stuff. You have that little inflator there if you guys need to inflate anything like I said, for the pool, for anything that's inflatable that you would want, you know, not to do it yourself, you have this. All right, guys, so those are the two essentials that I think you should have on the van. You know, never be stranded, whether it's a flat tire or your battery died on you or you left something on by accident, this thing it is beefy. It is a big thing to put away in the van, but the fact, I just think it's so cool. And I nerd out, I geek out about this kind of stuff. And it's something that I've been, I got into Milwaukee a few years ago, and they've just impressed me with, because I got them basically for the most compact drill, and then I got their compact blower, right? And they made a new one, which I haven't got my hands on yet, but they keep innovating, and I don't know who else does a jump starter like this. So having the ability to use my M18s, you're going to compromise a little bit on the size because you can buy like a cheap one off Amazon, and it's like half the size of this, but it's really cool. You got several functions. You can charge devices. You can use a little light if you need it. But what I really like is that you have these cables on the side that give you just so much flexibility to hook up onto many different, configurations. Whatever vehicle you have, you should be able to jumpstart with this. So really cool. This is a HOTSHOT by Milwaukee. This is the M12 inflator, and I will leave links to these in the YouTube shop down below, and I'll also leave links to the alternatives if you guys just want something that works. We've gone through several, and the two that my girlfriend has in her vehicle work really well. It's gonna take a little bit longer. Or that jump starter that she has I think she bought it. We wanted it for the vehicles here, but I told her to take it with her just in case. I think every vehicle should have some sort of jump starter and cables, because you might need the cables, for car to car jumps. But that one, when I used it on my van here at the house, when we used to keep it here in the garage, it would kill the whole thing. So you would have to recharge it immediately, versus this one, if it can last you a few jumps, or you just swap out the battery and it's good to go. So that's the convenience with something like what Milwaukee Tools is doing with their jump starter, the HOTSHOT. So like I said, go check it out. I'll leave all the links down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. See ya.